Good morning. Still at the patio this morning, but I thought I'd give you some details of, or a summary of kind of what I've done in the DR. Just not a whole lot, but just to break down. When I first got to Lubron, I decided I'm gonna go to some of the other cities, so I did take public transport. Excuse me. Buses are cheap, just a couple dollars. So I went to Santo Domingo. As you've probably seen some of my previous posts. It's quite a ways to get there, but a comfortable bus to get there. And I didn't really care for Santo Domingo. Stayed in the, I think they call it the National District. It was kind of a bust. I didn't really enjoy that at all because I'm not really into the sightseeing thing. Old buildings, old forts and stuff wasn't for me. Probably spent too much time. And came back to Lubron. Then I went over to, I think I did one night in Sosua. And then I did go into Puerto Plata for one night. But it's pretty large and there's really nothing that I was interested in. I mean, I've seen beaches, so I don't need to go down to Puerto Plata to see beaches. That's for sure. Just walked around town and basically people watching. So that's one of the things I like to do is watch, the world go by. And I never had any problems in Puerto Plata. I walked all over there by myself. And so back in Lubron, mostly would come out for breakfast in the morning, and many lunches and dinners at El Patio or the Chicken Hut. Good food here. I did have this medical device with me to cool. It was kind of like an ice pack system, electric ice pack system. I had it on the boat, and there's no point in keeping a bunch of stuff in your boat that you're not going to use. So I brought that over to the local hospital and met I think it was some hospital administrator, and gave that to her. And I said, can I just ask a favor and just take my temperature, because with the stupid coronavirus, I just wanted to double check to see if I was running a fever, and they did a quick check. That was fine, no charge, of course. And actually the hospital is quite modern. I couldn't believe how nice it was. The only complaint I have about the service here is their ambulance is very slow. In El Patio, there was a lady that kind of fainted, shortness of breath. We all thought she was dead. And the ambulance I think it did show up maybe an hour later. But some people had to take her to the hospital in a truck or something. I guess she was low on, she was dehydrated or something. So, and what do you know? 2 days later, she's sitting in the patio again. She looked like she was about 90. So anyway, she's fine. We couldn't believe it. Dangers in dangers in Lubron. The only thing I ran across was I was out shooting pool one night with this other, I can't remember which country he's from. Not Germany, he's always Russian, okay. Dimitri. So we're out shooting some pool, and there's a couple of lady boys I think there's about 3 lady boys in town, and they will try and hustle you, they won't leave you alone, and this is not a non-common thing, but they can be very aggressive. So I would say be careful about those lady boys. There's one particular one that's a gorilla, basically. Gorilla in a dress. You might think they're, because they're a lady boy, that they're innocent, but be careful. They will come up and steal beer. They will, just be careful. They're not to be messed with. So that's the only thing that I would say as far as the locals go. They're very friendly and helpful. Mind you, you're walking ATM machines, so if they offer to give you a ride somewhere, you're going to have to give them some money. So I usually throw them a buck, which is 50 pesos. So. Anyways, that's just the way it is. Everywhere in the Caribbean, you're walking ATM machines, so expect to have to pay. There's no, I didn't find any true friendship in the Caribbean, in any of the islands actually. With the locals, it's basically because you're from another country and you have a big fat wallet, or a lot of gringos do, anyways, according to them. I mean, the locals, they've got very little. The other thing that you're going to notice when you get to the DR is there's a lot of motorcycles racing down the streets. A lot of them don't have plates, so stay out of the way from them. And no helmets. Sometimes you'll see 3 or 4 people on one motorcycle. It's not uncommon, and that's how they get around in Loop Run. The police do have a presence, but they don't seem to bother the gringos. They actually try to protect them because they want the cruiser community to come here. Oh, so that was just a motorcycle that just started up, obviously. So it can get quite loud. They have a lot of trucks with loudspeakers. It could be some event that they're trying to advertise, or some kind of political message they're trying to provide. I can't think of anything else. The harbor has been safe for me. Like, I'm on a mooring ball. It was $2 a day, or you might be able to get a monthly rate at $50. I never had anybody get on my boat. There has been some people that got broken into, but you gotta keep your boat locked. And I would say well lit. I think it's a safe harbor. I've never had any problem in the Caribbean, but the odds are small that you're gonna have issues. Well, that's my update.